Hi, it's Kai. Today we are going to be doing a what's in my bag video, which is not a video I would normally film, and it's not one that I've watched a lot, but I did see a TikTok recently that really summarized the reason why I don't really watch those types of videos. And so I was like, you know what, let me be the one to make one in the type of style that I would love to see, or with the types of things I would love to see in people's bags. I will link it, but someone basically said everyone's what's in my bag looks the same. Everyone has the same types of bags. They're super organized, clean. They don't have anything interesting. It's just their digital camera, their phone, some lip gloss, whatever. And I actually am needing to clean out my current bag, which is this one. We'll get into all the details in a second, but I figured a good way to incentivize me to do it, as well as getting a video for you guys that I think is a little bit interesting, or again, different than what I normally would. It's a good way to get me to actually do this. So anyway, let's stop the chatter and get into it. The bag that I use as my everyday bag, I personally like a fanny pack because it's easy to convert from, just strapping around as a regular fanny pack, wearing it as a crossbody. I can often bring something. This one sometimes is a little bit big to bring into concerts or certain venues, but a lot of the time I'm allowed to bring this in. And I do have another fanny pack that's a little bit smaller than this one that they often allow me in with, but in general I've been able to get into concerts and clubs, whatever, with this bag. They might search through it and check it, and this bag is one that I don't know if it's still available. If it's not available, I think you may be able to find it on secondhand shops in Mercari and things like that. And hopefully this will be a cry out for them, or enough people will see this video, go to them and be like, bring back your fanny packs. But this is the fanny pack from Girlfriend Collective. They launched this, I want to say back in like 2020, 2021, even maybe 2022, just somewhere back then, because I've had this for quite a while. And I remember them only launching it maybe once or twice, and then they just never came back with it. I wanted the other colors they had this in because it is nice and lightweight. As you see, I've had it for years and it's not super discolored. I do wash it every once in a while, like once a year or twice a year, but it is still holding up well. All of the zippers are still functional. It's got the strap and the clip. The clip doesn't even look like it is banged up at all. I really like the strap saying recycle on it. And it says like, please recycle around the whole thing. And Girlfriend Collective's whole thing is that they make their products out of recycled plastics and fishing nets. And then very quickly, I have clipped onto it the Touchland little pocket hand sanitizer holder. My friend got this for me because she also purchased Touchland for me. I've talked about this before, but she purchased my first Touchland, and actually this one as well, my Touchland hand sanitizers, and then she also purchased one of the little pouches for me because it was so cute, and she knows that I love my hand sanitizer. So probably a little bit unnecessary, but I absolutely love my little Touchland pouch. I like that I can clip it on to this pretty easily, and I just have my hand sanitizer with me along with my bag. But anyways, back to the bag. In this back pocket is where I have a whole bunch of receipts that I usually just, put in there. What are these receipts even for? I have one for Toast on Linux because me and my sisters went there this past weekend and it was okay. I feel like the food was pretty good. The drink, the strawberry lemonade, their fresh squeezed strawberry lemonade, was amazing. But as far as the food itself, I feel as though it was good, but it wasn't anything that is like different from any other Atlanta breakfast or brunch spot. Anyway, I also have a receipt from this Mexican restaurant called Zama that me and my friends went to as well, which I wasn't really a big fan. I felt as though their food, especially their vegetarian dishes, were a little bit undercooked, a little bit underseasoned. The vegetables weren't quite steamed as much as I would have liked. It just wasn't my thing. And then I'll just show the stack of them, but I had all of my cards, which I want to do something different with this instead of them just being like raw dogging my bag. But I have all of my cards. I have my Breeze card, my Target Circle card that I never use, my old Discover card from before it had the chip on it, a $10 off your visit for Nina and Rafi on the Beltline, which recently closed. If you're in Atlanta, you know that Nina and Rafi recently closed and there was actually drama around it. This is actually the cash change from when my mom and I got pizza because I went home to visit my parents. I talked about that on my TikTok because it's just a lot going on. My apartment has been a war zone and I literally had to remove myself from here because it was either that or taking a trip down to like a facility for people who are freaking out mentally. I have my AAA card, another card for my bank or like the debit cards for my banks, my driver's license, obviously, and then my actually functional credit card. I also have a random piece of gum that I definitely need to get rid of, and then 2 quarters that were also part of the change I forgot to give back to my mom. As a witchy girl, I also like to put a bay leaf next to my cards and next to my cash. If you know, you know. If you don't, you can do research, but basically bay leaves are supposed, here I am still saying it, but bay leaves are supposed to bring in abundance and financial security. And I just put that near my cards as like a, you know, everything that I have to spend will return to me tenfold. So I'm going to need to, once I clean out the entire thing, clean out these random little, you know, maybe vacuum it out because there's just random shards of gum in here. But that was this whole back pocket. And then what I have in this frontmost pocket are more receipts. Let's see, this one is from Barcelona Wine Bar in Inman Park. I went there a few months ago with one of my friends, and honestly, I'm pretty sure that I saw my future husband there. He doesn't know I exist, but I did fall in love with him that night. So we need to go back so that I can solidify him as my future husband and get him to know who I am. I also have one for a local sushi restaurant that I really like. I took myself on a self-date day because I told myself that's something that I wanted to do more this year. And since that was my favorite sushi place, I just went, instead of ordering it in, which I usually do, I went and sat in the restaurant and just read my book as I ate. And then I also have some Visa gift cards that each have like $10 or $20 left on them. So I just use them for when I'm going in a gas station and am getting a little snack or just something where I only have to use a few dollars or a few cents at a time because there's not much money left on them. So that is everything in the front pocket. And then we get into the meat and potatoes pocket, which has just a whole bunch of random stuff in here. So off the top, the most interesting things that I have in here, and the thing that I hardly see in other what's in my bag videos, and that makes me feel like, especially in the current political climate, us girlies using that, even though I don't necessarily, you guys know I feel a little bit more like on the agender. Gender is a real type of spectrum thing, but I still claim being a girly for all intents and purposes. But in this current climate, we all need to be taking more care of our sexual health. So I have my Laurels in here. This first one, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this one is actually expired. So I'm gonna have to get rid of it, and I can actually open it and it might be stuck together because I did open one of these that was stuck together one time. But it is called, again, Laurels, and it is basically a dental dam but in underwear form. You could also think of it as a condom but in underwear form, but the reason I like to say dental dam is because condoms are specifically for insertion with, you know, sexual activity, whereas with Laurels, this is just for rimming, for oral activities, not necessarily for anything regarding penetration. But you can transfer STIs through giving oral or receiving oral. I am someone who has herpes, and this is something that I like to use with partners that I have to help protect them, because as I've always said, and as I have said multiple times, I do a lot more of my herpes content over on TikTok because I can make it like short, little, quick things. But I can, as I've said before, definitely do a video on here if you guys have any questions, or if that's something that you would be interested in me discussing more over here. here, but the safest partner to be with is actually not someone who's tested negative for herpes. It's someone who's tested positive, because there's a lot of ways that you can get false negatives. Most STI screenings, or when you go in, if you're not presenting symptoms of herpes, they're often not going to test you for it. So a lot of people don't know. And often the social stigma and mental health implications of having or knowing you have herpes because of the way that it acts. And you may never have an outbreak or a symptom, and you may not know where you got it from, who you got it from, how long you've had it. Because of all of those impacts, a lot of doctors don't even test for it at all. The physical impact to you or harm to you is much less than the social stigma associated with it. So all that is to say, we should be using more barrier protection. I know it's something both within and without the queer community. I don't feel like we talk enough about using dental dams, about using protection when we are doing oral. So this is one way that you can do that. Like I said, since this one is expired, I can go ahead and open it. These again are for STI protection, but they also have some that are not for STI protection, and these are latex. They are trying to get funding for like non-latex ones, because obviously there are people with latex allergies. Science takes time. They also have these dark ones. So this is black, and again, this one is definitely like all melted together, so it's not going to be a good representation of how it would actually look. And it does recommend that you store them in the box they come in. I just at the time was, with someone where I was going over to see them, and so this is what they look like. They have a pretty wide gusset on them for all of the protection. They also, I think, have some boy short type ones as well, like a bikini, a boy short. Again, they have these black ones, but they also have ones that are a nude color, which are more of a like salmon kind of coral, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, this is what I've used. And instead of, again, having to like hold it, you would, if this was not completely, melted together at the top and expired, you would be able to open the top and put them on like underwear. So again, that is like one of the more interesting things. Again, I have this other one which doesn't expire until May of next year. So I have this one that's good for another year. I'm not sponsored by them. I would love to be sponsored by them. I'll probably, send them this video in an email and be like, hey, let's work something out. Let's get a coupon code or affiliate link or, a brand deal going on, because I really do like them. I believe in them. And the people that I have used those with, none of them have come back. Of course, they don't necessarily have to come back and tell me anything, but I've never had anyone come back being upset with me for them contracting herpes if they didn't have it and we use those. So again, do with that what you will. On the same vein, I also keep condoms on me. This first one I actually got from a tattoo event. It's glow in the dark. It doesn't expire until 2028, so I have just been keeping it, honestly, and I'm just interested to use it, but I haven't had a chance to use it yet. And then I usually like to keep another condom. I like the skin ones. This one is actually expired, so I have some in my drawer right here that when I'm putting my stuff back together, I can add these in, because these don't expire until 2028. So yeah, I've repurchased the skin ones over and over. It's honestly, outside of just not knowing necessarily always the condom brand that the person that I am with prefers using or is using, if it's me supplying the condom, it's always skin. I like them. So haven't had any issues with these. I've never had a pregnancy scare or anything like that. And the person that I got herpes from was actually not a penis wielder. So again, it's been doing its job for what it needs. And then I have this little pouch that my mom bought me back from when her and my dad went to Belize. The little, what do you call it? What is that? The zipper fell off, the keychain of it fell off. But I think what I'm gonna do is just put either my like condoms in here, or I could even put my little credit cards and all of my different cards. Speaking of my cards, I don't know if I ever showed you guys specifically and talked about my Marta Breeze card. More people, if you're in Atlanta, ride Marta. The only way we'll ever get Marta expanded is if more people ride it. So get yourself a Marta card when there's a game or a concert or something. Use Marta, you know, even if you're just going into the city and you're near a Marta station or a park and ride, maybe try that. And then I have this wrapper. I believe it's a wrapper from one of my face masks because I do still wear my face mask when I am out and about. I also have this little case for my straw. This is one of the things that people very heavily associate with me if they've ever gone out to eat with me, because I like to keep a little silicone straw, or, you know, I don't know if it's silicone exactly, but a plastic straw with me so that I don't use the restaurant straws and, you know, they're plastic single-use straws. But yeah, I keep one of these in my purse with me. I also have some headphones. I always have either these or my JLab headphones, or not headphones, technically they're earphones or earbuds, but I always have a pair of earbuds with me because I am very sensitive to sounds. Honestly, when I'm out and about, I like to have a little bit of music going because it makes things a little bit less anxiety inducing for me. And in general, music has always been something that regulates me, so I always like to have the ability to listen to it and not be like listening to something out loud. And also if I'm on, you know, the phone with my friends, family, whatever, I don't want to be one of those people who's talking out on the phone or like everyone can hear every part of my conversation. So earphones for multiple reasons. I also have a little mini, what do you call it? What is this? A mirror that it had all of these glitter pieces, but they've fallen off over the years. I should like paint it or, you know, do something on it. Yeah, it's just a mirror for me to be able to touch up. It does have a little, I don't know, divot here for, I guess a little brush could go in there or something, you know, a little lip brush. What I probably, wink wink, use it for is not for that. Then I have my Phlur Ameline hand cream. This is the lotion that I carry around. It's been discontinued and I wish it hadn't, because this is such a beautiful, like stemmy, green, watery rose type of fragrance, not really the sweet, like Delina type of fragrances. This was one of my favorite fragrances. I have the perfume too. I loved this scent from Phlur and really wish they hadn't discontinued it, but I know that they discontinued their things that aren't selling as well, you know, to make way for new things. So it's just the nature of the beast, but that was one of my favorites. I also have an old Tide to Go pen, which I'm pretty sure I need to replace because I know every once in a while these start smelling literally like stomach acid, throw up, bile. This one doesn't, it's starting to get there. I feel like it's not bad enough yet to completely throw it out, but probably in like another half a year or even in another few months, I'll need to revisit this and probably just replace it. I like the Tide to Go pens, but I never am able to use a full one before finishing it. Even though I spill stuff on myself pretty often and have used them pretty often, I just don't end up using the whole pen. And so I'm wondering if maybe the cloths, I think they came out with a cloth version of a Tide to Go pen, you know, but it's a Tide to Go cloth, duh. But I might try that out next time and see if that's something that lasts longer, since I believe they would be individually wrapped. And the remainder of what is in here are my lip glosses, lip balms, whatever. So the first one I have is from my sister's ex-girlfriend. She got me and all of my family members pretty much these Byredo lip balms, which honestly are really good. However, the Phytosurgeon's lip balm formula is very similar to this one. I noticed that as I was using them next to each other when I was home, since I had both of them when I went home to visit my parents. So it's not something that I repurchase, especially considering Byredo is pretty expensive, but it's where like maybe I could, if I really wanted to, depot the Phytosurgence ones into this, or just depot any other lip product into here to have the high-end feeling, heavy magnetic closure. It's just the magnetic closure that gets me, honestly. I honestly like that it's kind of curved too. It's not straight up and down. Anyway, really like this. It's called Chromophobia, which I think is because it's just a clear lip balm. So I like it. Other formulas will get you soft and supple lips. I will say it's a pretty good lip balm. I don't usually expect products like these to be good, especially since I see Byredo as a little bit more of a fragrance brand than an overall beauty brand. But yeah, that's pretty good. I have a mini of the Fenty Glow lip gloss. I've gone through a big size, like a full size of this before, and then I just have the little mini because it is the perfect gloss to throw on your lips in any occasion when you just need something on your lips. So again, it's just the gloss that I like to keep in my lip arsenal or in my purse all the time. And then these other ones are the ones that I just put in my bag to take with me because I was wearing them that day and forgot to put them back. And so they've just been living in my bag for a while. The first one is the e.l.f. lip stain in the shade Saucy Sienna, which is a red shade. I really love red lip stains, that like popsicle red type of vibe. I really like those, so this kind of gives me that look, even though I feel as though I'm running low on this. Maybe not, maybe I just need to scoop around the sides or take out the stopper. This one is discontinued, but it is the Persona Cosmetics Hibiscus gloss. Again, another red. I will sometimes wear this on its own, sometimes put this on top. I think the time that I had these, I put them together because even though the e.l.f. has a little bit of glossiness there, when it wears off, it just, again, wears off to that kind of popsicle red lip stain. And if I want to add a little bit more gloss, I can add this on top of it. And it doesn't add a whole bunch more color because this is more of like, again, a kind of sheer red type of shade. It's also really pretty on its own. I just don't always wear red glosses on their own completely. And then this last one, I don't even remember the last time I wore this. It would have had to have been in the fall or winter time. It's the very discontinued, very old Bite Beauty Amuse-Bouche, oh not Amuse-Bouche, French Press lip gloss in the shade French Press, which is a just chocolate deep espresso brown. I really like topping my nude lipsticks, nude brown lipsticks, all of that with this in the, again, fall and winter time. But this is one I probably need to go put back in my collection because I'm not going to wear a brown lip gloss like this. And also this red one, I like to use this one a lot, but it's not something that needs to stay in my purse. And that is it. That is everything that is in my bag. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit different from what you guys usually see from me, but sometimes different can be good, right? Anyways, I hope you guys again enjoyed this video and that you're staying safe and healthy wherever you are when you're watching this, and I will talk to you guys on the next one.